a latest development, the Kannada Development Authority has returned to Karnataka's Health Minister Dinesh Gundu, urging him to pass an order asking all doctors in government hospitals and government establishments to write the prescription, medicine prescription in Kannada wherever it's possible, wherever the doctors are comfortable writing those prescriptions in Kannada. They argue that when the conversation between the patient and the doctor is happening in Kannada and they're diagnosing it in Kannada, then why not write it in Kannada on prescription? They're saying it will do two things. One, it will help patients, especially in rural areas who do not understand English. Second, they are saying it will increase the language usage and also help in improving language pride in Karnataka. That's the argument of the KDA. They're also saying that government should also encourage private hospitals to use Kannada extensively. They say they are not asking people who don't know Kannada, doctors who perhaps don't know Kannada, to not really go ahead and write prescriptions in Kannada. They are saying only wherever it's possible, especially doctors who understand and write Kannada well, they can write prescriptions in Kannada. That would help the language. This is the request that has gone in from KDA to the Karnataka Health Ministry. We'll have to see if the health department wants to move on this, because there are issues. Many are saying that there might be doctors who might not be good in writing Kannada. There might be pharmacists, people in pharmacies who can't read Kannada. Then there will be a lot of confusion while giving any sort of a medicine. So many believe that that might not be the best case scenario. But all in all, KDA believes that a move of this nature, even to encourage doctors, will go a long way in improving usage of Kannada. There has been a lot of discussion around the KDA's proposal to the government that the government pass an order asking doctors, especially in government hospitals, to give medical prescriptions of medicines in Kannada. That's been the demand. Will the government act? We'll have to see in the coming days. Joining us right now, the KDA chairperson himself. Sir, what is the idea behind this request that you have sent to the government, sir?
See, I've been traveling in Karnataka from last 2 months. I visited Agriculture University. Okay, there are 98% of the Kannada is implemented because the agrarian scientists must communicate with the local people, right? And I've been visiting Animal and Husbandry University also, where people or doctors or professors has to communicate with the local people. Now think about doctors. The doctors have studied MBBS or MD in Karnataka, either in Adichunchanagiri or in Bangalore or in Manipal or in Dharwad, and most of them speak very good Kannada at home. And when the patient visit their clinic, they ask patients in Kannada only, target language only. Hey, how are you? What is happening? The patient explaining his difficulties in Kannada only. So there's a Kannada in the whole area. But when you write prescriptions, suddenly you jump to English. Okay, I know the reason, because many of the medical doctors have studied, in English medium, so it's very difficult to them to write it in Kannada. But my request is, or my humble request is, at least write patient's name in Kannada. We have observed 3 language formula. So first write in the patient's name in Kannada. That make patients very happy that his name is in the prescription. He goes to the medical shop, he asks the particular person to give the medicine, and write, for example, anasin. You can write, it's simple Kannada you can write. If it is more complicated, write it in English. I am not against English, and I don't want any patients to suffer because of the wrong writing. And many are objecting that if you write it in Kannada, then you write it wrongly. That happens in English also. Who is guaranteeing the spelling errors in the prescription? The anasin could be written as ANACIN and ANASIN also. That is the beauty of English. So that's not the intention. My primary intention is, when you are targeting or when you are talking to the local people, use the local language. That's it. And if you're a doctor, coming from UP or Delhi or Bihar, then I don't insist them. Let them take time to learn local language, then let them practice it, write it in Kannada. That's it.
You want this to be widely encouraged even in private hospitals, sir?
Yes. Because see, I went to hospital some day ago, and the doctor asked me everything in Kannada. Then when he started writing in English. Then I requested doctor, why can't you write my name in Kannada? He happily wrote it. He happily wrote it. And now most of the doctors are using computers. Once you entered patient's name and ID number, then everything comes, next time we visit, everything comes automatically. Then write it in Kannada. There is a lot of good software. And it's, I mean, if doctors are interested, they can make it very easily. So I have requested our minister to write a letter to, all the hospitals, so that wherever possible, let them use Kannada. Because the main intention is, if you see the 2011 census, the overall development of Kannada is negative. The Hindi is growing with the 66% speed, and whereas Kannada is showing just 3.73%. So if it goes like this, next 100 years, no Kannada. Okay, no Kannada in writing at least. So it may remain as a spoken language. That's a fear. Kannada has a very rich heritage like Pampa, Panna, Ranna, and it has 2000 years of history, and it's a classical status also. So we don't want to see our own language dying because of wrong notions about language. Okay. Now if you go to Bihar, they write it in Hindi. If you go to Madurai, they write it in Tamil. Then what's the problem of writing in Kannada in Karnataka?
So many are saying, are there challenges implementing this? There might be doctors who would have done their MBBS in English medium. How will they write it in Kannada? Will the pharmacy person know it?
How they diagnose patient's problem in mother tongue? Are they diagnosing in English or Kannada? They are talking in Kannada. 30 minutes they have a very beautiful conversation with the patients. So they diagnose in Kannada, right? Then they translate into English. Instead, I am requesting them, okay, you diagnose in the Kannada language, you understand the problem in Kannada, then write it in Kannada as much as possible. I don't say 100%. At least they can write patient's name, Purushottama Bilimale, 70 years. It's possible.
Yeah.
Right, that's it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
speaking to us.